Welcome back to Build Different. This is where grown folks like ourselves keep it real about life, love, and lessons learned. Today, we're going to break down dating in the 40s, the
Mm.
things we used to want and the things we absolutely want now.
Because let's be honest, the things we wanted or tolerated in our 20s and 30s change. And they should. We grow, we hopefully become wiser and more emotionally mature. And that naturally would lead to different wants, needs, and boundaries.
So, let's start with the past. Back then, dating was all vibes, chemistry over compatibility, attraction over alignment. We were choosing people based on kind of potential and kind of like a record playlist, kind of like we wanted R. Kelly, we got some sexual loving. We wanted Jodeci, we
Uh-huh.
got some tender love and care. But if we want some TLC, it was kind of like that that I don't know. It was kind of like that boyish kind of
Mhm.
girlish love, but it was still sexy in a way. So
What about Boys to Men?
I don't really I didn't really listen to a lot of Boys and Man.
Mm.
I listened to Motown Philly though, but and I remember listening to the end of the road when I was breaking up with with the with most of the people that I was not talking to after a while.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I think in our 20s, we rely heavily on chemistry. Are we attracted to them? Is there a connection, a spark? Or like they say now, do they have riz? Is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then by
Okay.
the 30s, I think there's a lot more focus on whether or not you could build a relationship with this person. Do they have goals? Do they have accomplishments? Can they commit? Are they ready for a serious long-term relationship or marriage?
Communication style,
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, future plans. No, we were just out here freestyling like seasoned pros. Do I like you? Are you cute? Circle a like, circle yes or no. Or do you text back occasionally?
Well, the last time I was dating, there's no such thing as texting. So it's more like a call and hope to catch them or leave a message or page them. But, interestingly enough, even though we are more connected than ever, people in their 20s and 30s are dating less. About 37% of singles under 30 said they are not interested in dating, and roughly 46% of Gen Z adults are single.
I wonder why is that?
That's a good question.
Mm.
Tell us, what do you guys think? Comment. Why do you think that more recent generations are dating less? So, fast forward now to dating in your 40s. It's a whole different game. We've lived, we've learned, and we're healing, or at least we're trying to.
Yeah, but now we want kind of, such as myself, peace,
Mm,
consistency, emotional maturity, some kind of accountability,
yeah.
and someone who actually knows who they are.
Yeah. Potential doesn't impress us anymore. Patterns do. Consistency does. Intentionality does. I like to tell my clients that you want to make a distinction between instances and patterns. Patterns give us information about character. So you want to be observant of a person's patterns and behavior and communication.
And for my clients,
Yes.
I really don't have a situation to tell them because I don't really have clients.
But
But
you have good advice.
I try to give good advice. I try to help out where I can because I try to live in that person's eyes and just give them a heads up on what they may expect. I know for myself, my life was lived a little bit differently than others.
Mhm.
But if I can help, I guess thinking about by listening and just understanding from not just the male standpoint but the female standpoint also, because we both live different lives but some people go down the same path.
Very true.
So let's talk standards
Mm.
and somewhat non-negotiables. This is how I need to be treated lists,
Okay.
examples of 40 standards. I'm gonna say not all 40s because I'm not gonna say that I needed clear communication, you know, uh,
Not in all of your
not
40s.
in all my 40s, or
Okay.
respect for time and boundaries, which I think you definitely need because if you're with somebody 24/7, you can't even miss them because you're seeing them all day, all night. And you
True.
do need that time where you can relax, woosah, deal with things you need to deal with,
Mhm.
by yourself at times.
Agreed.
Emotional availability, financial responsibility. You have to be financially responsible, no matter if you're by yourself or you're with a partner. It is harder sometimes with a partner because people that love Amazon, every day is an Amazon package coming to the door.
I feel
But guess
attacked.
what? It's not mine. So, but the thing is, it ain't even my Amazon account. So guess what? I don't care. Handle your business, but also shared values.
Mhm.
I think you definitely have to have the same value, when it comes to, your vision of what you're going to see at the end, when you get to that point where you do want to be, emotionally with someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Mhm.
Healthy conflict.
Oof.
Um, Conflict is a word that even when you say it calmly, it sounds like a bad word because it got that conflict. So, but you have to have healthy conflict. I think you have to have disagreements. You have to look at each other and understand that you're not going to uh, say yes on
Mhm.
everything together. But when you do say no and when you do disagree, you got to understand that, we may not do this for that one day, but guess what? We can come back to this later and get down that road and walk hand in hand, wherever we're going to go from this day on. So I think you have to have a healthy conflict resolution.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's an excellent point. And here's the thing, standards aren't being picky, they're the blueprint. Your standards connect to your core values, the values you hold most dear. And if someone can't meet them, they're just not your person, and that's okay. There's a pot for every lid, and that just may not be the lid for your pot.
And if the pot don't fit, guess what? You could use foil. Or you could use or like back in the days, you could use a plate.
That too.
I mean, that covers the pot, make sure the water won't overboil.
Make it do what it do.
But, boundaries, man, I never knew what boundaries were back in the days because I didn't really have none. Maybe I had some, I just didn't know it, but I think
Mm,
boundaries are a big deal in life. Boundaries are the grown folks' superpower.
mm,
They protect your peace and your progress. Examples of some of the 40-year-old boundaries that I've encountered and that probably others encountered in life, non-entertaining, you know, um, inconsistency,
mm,
for myself, inconsistency wasn't even a word. I was consistent in my own head, but see, I said in my own head and not their head and not no other head. So not over giving to people who
mm,
underinvest, I think giving your all to somebody that is not interested or not investing in you sometimes is a waste of time. It's
mhm,
like, I'm throwing water into the wind and it ain't going nowhere but on the ground and disintegrating,
mm.
or excuse me, freaking melting. So, it has no substance.
Yeah.
Um, I think not ignoring red flags.
Please don't ignore red flags.
Wait, what you say?
Said, please don't ignore red flags.
Why? Red flags is what they fly when you go to these nice churches that be flying the green and the red and orange flag and praising the
Uh-huh.
Lord, right?
They also mean stop.
Oh, okay. So, so red flags are something that we see, and like I said in my previous episode, I think when a woman or a man says I'm crazy and they're laughing, I think that we should believe that, and I'll say I'm crazy a lot because I know I'm crazy because I'm just you know out and about and I just do the most damnedest things sometimes, but I'm a happy crazy, not a crazy crazy. And I think not sacrificing your routine, your goals, or your mental health. I think those are big things, when it comes to understanding what that person wants. I think when you do get in a relationship, you definitely have to see what the other person's plans are. You
Mhm.
have to understand their plans. If it is to go, to different heights or different places or different states or different countries, if that's their plan, then either you're with it or you're without it. If you're not with it, then you go move on to someone else that is part of your plan.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. They have to be aligned. right?
Yes.
Like you have to have aligned plans. They don't have to be exactly the same because you're both still individuals, right? You have your own goals and dreams, but the idea is that you have them together and you help each other achieve your goals.
Yes. You want the best. I think you have to want the best for each other no matter the person that you're with is not going to have everything that you ever wanted in a woman or a man.
Yeah.
And and that's okay. But they just have to have the things that you like that you
Mhm.
can deal with. Some things, they may snore in the bed. You may not like that from everybody, but that person may be able to get away with it.
Mhm.
They may smile a certain way and not have no teeth, but
Yeah,
guess what? They make you happy,
there you go.
and I think that's the number one thing. As long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters.
Very true. So when you think of boundaries, don't think of it as a wall that's being used to keep people out. Think of it more like a fence. And that fence has a gate. And your boundaries allow you to decide who gets to enter or exit the gate and have access to you. It keeps your peace intact and lets the right people in. And it's important to consider types of boundaries: physical, emotional, sexual,
They got
financial.
sexual boundaries?
Yes.
I didn't know that was even a boundary. Damn, I
Yeah.
thought sexual boundary was just, you know, whenever you roll over, you just be like, okay, cool.
No, like, what do you
Yeah.
like? What do you not like?
I thought
Safe
I thought you like
words.
whatever the man likes.
No,
Oh, okay.
that's the mistake a lot of men make, right?
Yes, we do. And I'll still probably make that mistake, but hey,
But
ain't nobody saying nothing.
that's where conversation comes in about your boundaries and what you like and what you don't like and what are, like, hard no's for you, or if you are trying something, what's your safe word? Those sort of things.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's also financial boundaries and time boundaries. Like, are you one of those people that are like 15 minutes early is on time? And then that's not going to work for someone that says 10 minutes late is still on time.
Me personally, I remember looking at this video about a lady that purposely from New Orleans or from
Mhm.
Louisiana that purposely came late because she thought that a man is supposed to wait for her because she wants you to be looking at her walk in. She wants
Hmm.
you to make her, look like, man, I'm feeling like I'm can't wait to see this. But for me, I think that's playing games with the other person. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're running late because you're running late, I think that's okay. But to run late because you want this person to, you know, I guess, uh, like, I guess wait on you and drool over you because you're walking in like this,
Oh, like
wind
making an
and
entrance.
yeah, and that's cool. I mean, we do make entrances and I love doing that, but I think that you have to understand that games are played for kids at times. And sometime as an adult, if you're coming in and you running late because something happened, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
But if it's just because that's what you want to do every time you go out with somebody, I think that's like, that's just like a Uno game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I heard someone say once, if someone, and again, it's instances and patterns, right? If someone's, late on occasion, that's one thing. If it's a pattern, then you're not respecting other people's time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think that's really important, to respect people's time. That's why there are time boundaries,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And now, we come to this point where we come to this thing
Mm.
called the deal breakers,
Mhm.
the absolute knots. Um, I know I didn't really have a lot of knots except, the essential, oh, they couldn't have this, they couldn't have that when I was younger. But I think as I got older, the one of the big ones was dishonesty. I
Mm.
mean, if you were dishonest about,
Yeah.
I remember going on dates and I remember a woman was dishonest about her kid. And to me, I think that's a big thing
Oh, wow.
because if you have kids, you have kids, admit you have kids, either the person's gonna date you with kids or they're gonna date you because, they want something in return. But you shouldn't be dishonest about your kids. You shouldn't be dishonest about how you live. You shouldn't be dishonest about, what work you do or how you live and or where you coming from. You should just be who you are, you
Now,
know?
let me ask you something about that, because I've heard some people say that they don't want to mention their kids at first because they want their date to get to know them first before they talk about kids.
But if
What
I
do you think about
ask
that?
you a simple question, do you have kids? It's either a yes or no.
That is true.
I mean, it ain't no. I mean, I've answered. I've answered when somebody asked me, "Do I have kids?" I don't know. So you don't know if you have kids? Probably no, because I didn't know.
Okay.
And at the time I was dating someone, and I really wasn't dating them. I was
Mhm.
uh emotionally, um, physically attracted to him. Without the emotions, but it but so I didn't know, but she was pregnant. I didn't know
Mhm.
if she was pregnant or not, so I didn't know. But I think if you ask somebody a simple question, "Did you go out and see this person? Yes or no?
Mhm.
Do you have kids? Yes or no?"
Mhm.
I think the other knots are lack of accountability.
Mhm.
I think you take accountable for whatever you do, if it's bad or good. If you just are dishonest with yourself, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, then how can you be accountable for whatever thing you do? Emotional immaturity. Do we have emotional immaturity? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how would people describe immaturity.
Oh, I would say top 2, lack of empathy, which is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand their viewpoint, and the inability to emotionally regulate.
Mm.
I think those are 2 top symptoms, I guess, or hallmarks of emotional immaturity. Like, if you don't know how to regulate your emotions during interactions and you're yelling at people and throwing things and swearing at each other, that's a problem.
I think that's anger.
Yeah,
You
anger is
know,
an emotion that can be regulated.
yeah, I think I think the calm ones are the ones that scare me the most because you don't know what the hell they gonna do. I'd rather you be emotionally angry than emotionally calm.
Well,
you
I
know,
think but you bring up a difference, right? Because the people that are calm, you can tell that there's still something going on. Like, there's a difference between calm, like, I've regulated,
hmm
and calm where they look a little, like, behind the eyes, they're looking a little dark,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's a dangerous calm.
yeah. And I've seen that. Another one would be poor communication.
Mhm.
Am I the best communicator? Hell no.
Mhm.
But I try and I continue work on my communication personally because I want people to understand what I'm trying to say, how I'm trying to convey it, and how I'm trying to just, let you envision what I'm trying to say instead of me saying, go walk over there. I'm trying to let you see why I'm telling you to go walk over there, how I'm telling you to go walk over there, how I'm telling you to approach that issue or that problem over there.
Mhm.
And I think another one is disrespect. I think
Mhm.
everybody deserves respect. You never let nobody take you out of your own character, man. A lot of people disrespect you, and a lot of men they will say, if a woman calls a man, that p word,
Mm.
and that p word is very strong, and that's like calling, a woman out of her name,
Mhm.
but when
The
a
B
man
word?
hears that, yeah,
Mhm.
or the C word,
Ooh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's I've heard everything, and when that word is said to a man,
Mm.
it it kills their insides and they see red, and
Okay.
I ain't talking about red flags. I'm talking about red danger,
Right.
Another one is inconsistency,
Mhm.
I mean, I've been there where I've bought, people flowers. I was just to win them over. And then next thing we know, we go down a relationship day. Ain't a flower being seen.
Oh, no.
No, they ain't got time for that. I give you a petal, or I give you some seeds so you can plant some
So you
flowers.
can grow your own
So man,
flowers.
yeah, but you learn over those times, where you could change and you can do different things, and the last one I think is unwillingness to work, on their own baggage. I think
Yes.
you have to work on yourself before you get into any kind of relationship next or any kind of friendship or whatever you want to do with your life. I think when you do have baggage, you have to either take your baggage and deal with it or take your baggage and start all over. One of the two, but bringing it into your next relationship or into whatever you're doing, I think is sometime that's more difficult than, just dealing with it by yourself because now you got multiple people dealing with it.
Right. Right. You're bringing your baggage and sort of putting it on someone else to
Mhm.
manage too. Yeah. So in your 40s, deal breakers hit a little differently because you know how expensive it can be to ignore them. I think that your standards create like a framework for your deal breakers. So they have to align. So once you create those standards, that helps you decide what your deal breakers are. Your examples are great because they relate to how a potential partner treats you. They're also a great indicator of how well a potential partner can collaborate.
Mhm.
Everyone's gonna have stuff, right? Like we
Mhm.
just said, everyone's gonna have baggage, but you can each work on your stuff to show up healthier and help each other grow and to build a life together.
And then you got to figure out if
Mhm.
that baggage that the other opposite person has is the baggage you want to deal with.
Right.
Because sometimes that baggage is not what you really want because your baggage is already too heavy.
Right. But that's why it's essential, I think, to work on yourself kind of continuously and before you get into a relationship because
Mhm.
you've learned how to deal with it. You learn how to heal
Mhm.
from things. I mean, we're not going to magically get to some place where we're completely healed and nothing ever bothers us and we've dealt with all our trauma and we never get triggered.
Mhm.
But it's the ability to be able to do things like emotionally regulate enough so that your triggers still allow you to interact in a way that's healthy.
Mm. Okay. So what we want now in life, we want alignment, not chaos. Now I say not chaos because I remember a couple episodes ago I said I was a chaos coordinator, and I really meant that because chaos. I lived in chaos, and I know what chaos is, but I know what type of chaos I want.
Mm,
You also want partnership, not just, school projects. You want reciprocity, and not one-sided effort, you
absolutely.
know?
We want to wrap. It's an
Yeah.
acronym.
Okay.
Reciprocity, alignment, and partnership.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but okay. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool.
We want someone who adds to our life, someone who helps us to grow, someone who helps to join us on this mutual growth journey, and someone who supports our goals and our dreams while creating goals with us, right? So we have our
Yeah,
own goals and goals
yeah.
together, not someone we have to drag or fix or convince.
Like, so dating in your 40s isn't about it's not about perfection.
Mhm.
It's about intention, you know?
Absolutely.
And your intention has to be, you know, I see myself doing this. I want this, not just settling and saying, okay, I'm just going to get this because this is the best thing I can get right now.
Right.
You can get whatever you feel that your mind is focused on. And
Mhm.
you have to freaking understand that sometimes settling is the worst thing to do.
Mm, that's a word.
Yeah, I know. I try. So we got some questions for y'all. And we just want to hear y'all in the comments and see what y'all think about this. So, question one.
Mm.
Why do people in their 40s still ghost?
Mm.
Aren't we too old for that?
Mm.
For me, ghosting in your 40s should come with a fine. I'm just
Fine.
saying. I'm just saying, man. Just say this isn't working. We're grown. Some of us have back pain. We don't have time for disappearing acts. A lot of time, and I say this because I've ghosted before, and I've ghosted
Mhm.
because I didn't like the way somebody looked on a app, or I didn't like the way they picture looked towards the way they were talking to me. So, do I think ghosting is whack? Yes. I think you should just be straight up. Look, this ain't gonna work out. I don't want to see you no more, and you know lose my number. Well, that's kinda harsh, but just say, "Hey, I hope you find whatever you're looking for out there."
Right. Yeah, it's just the mature, polite thing to do. Okay, but with that being said, I think we've all ghosted 1 or 2 times in our lives. But again, there's a difference between instances and patterns.
Yes. So, question 2, why do men in their 40s still play games?
Oh. I think that some men play games because they're emotionally immature. Games are for people who lack the ability to do those things that we've been talking about, like emotionally regulate and communicate effectively. But if they are playing games, in the end, do they really win? I don't think they do. I think games leave you lonely in the end, in my opinion. But some of these guys never retired from the games. They never retired from the league. They're still running the same plays from like back in 2003.
So I know I better see a question on why do women play games because it's not all just men playing games. I'm speaking for us men. I'm
I don't know.
sorry.
You came up with the question.
Exactly. You know, we're not trying to run a full court press with 1990 knees. Sir, sit down, hydrate, and then and go to therapy. No, but games is not. Sometimes we're not actually playing games. We're just scared to make a move that may either be critical in our life to make us feel a certain way, or we just don't know how to reject something that we really don't want at times.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's real. I'm speaking real transparent. Sometimes it's not games. It's just we don't know what to say sometimes. And sometimes when we
Mm,
say things, it may sound harsher than what we want to come out like, and people may take it to the heart. And it's
mm,
not like that,
mm.
you know. Um,
Well,
a lo- oh no, go ahead.
I was saying you mentioned like women playing games, but I think what we said, the emotional immaturity and things like it applies to both
Yeah,
men and
because
women.
I've had people tell me, "Oh man, I like you. You know,
Mhm.
you're handsome. This, and this." Back in the days, and then they be like, "You know what? I'm not ready for a relationship."
Mhm.
Dang. Okay. Cool.
Yikes.
That's cool because I was already heading another direction anyway. Because you don't want to show them your hurt.
Uh-huh.
So I think it goes both ways. But the men always get the game category on
Mhm.
top of their head.
Okay.
So
And it can be both.
yeah,
So, is it wrong that I want someone financially stable?
wrong. Yeah, no. So at this age, we don't do struggle anything. Not struggle love, not struggle meals.
Yeah, no. I think, financial stability isn't gold digging. It's I'm too old to be splitting that $5 meal at Wendy's. Yeah. At this age, you're thinking about the second half of life. That requires stability. It requires time to build or to be expanding on what you've already built.
But if a person does take you out to a $5 meal at Wendy's,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that they're cheap. Maybe they just that type of person that just want a square burger. They don't want freaking or a T-bone steak or a freaking,
Uh-huh.
what if you get a Salisbury steak?
I
That's
don't think
barely a hamburger steak.
I don't think they have that at Wendy's.
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know, man. But I say this, you know, I ain't mad if a woman is that spam sandwich person that say, "Hey, I don't want to go out to eat. I just want to eat some spam."
Oh.
So we go fry some spam and cook up some burgers and boom, some cheese and some lettuce and some tomatoes. Hey, ladies, you can talk all you want to talk on this freaking podcast, but guess what? That stuff was good back in the days.
Okay, well, what if he wants to get the $5 Wendy bag deal, whatever, and then wants to go 50/50?
I probably would run. That's just me. If you can't afford, I mean, was you spending 250?
250.
You shouldn't be going out. You should be doing your own thing. So question 4 would be why do people in the 40s come with baggage?
Because life has been lifing,
Yeah, that's true.
really. I
That's
mean, by
true.
40, everybody has a suitcase, a carry-on, and at least one duffel bag.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we ready for a trip.
Ready for a trip. And that baggage isn't always a bad thing. Baggage is experience. And some of those experiences can bring wisdom.
Yeah.
Your baggage is your history, and we all have history. Just make sure that you've been doing the work to check your baggage.
Yeah. The question is like, are they packing it or do they want to move into your life with everything still zipped? I need to see what you got in those bags. I'm sorry.
like
Because I don't
TSA.
want no skeletons popping out my closet in them bags.
No, no,
It's just
thank you.
me.
Right. If we don't unzip and unpack our baggage, we carry those old unhealthy patterns and thoughts and behaviors that didn't work before right into the new relationship.
Mhm. So question 5, we ask, how do I know if someone is emotionally mature?
Mm,
So we ask ourselves, when you're upset, how do you communicate? Do you stay quiet? Do you not say anything? If they say I shut down or I disappear, I'm saying run, man.
right.
And because a lot of times when you are, you know, emotionally angry, I mean, you have to understand that you just can't speak to people the way any way you want to speak to them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hurtful. And I've been there. I've said some things in my life. I got some things said to me. Emotionally, I didn't know how bad it hurt me until I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow.
Mm,
I think the words that you say sometime when you're angry, it's kind of like my grandmother used to tell me, it's like a nail in a fence. You hit that
mm,
nail in that fence, but no matter what you do, when you take that nail out, you could paint that fence, you could replace that fence, that hole is
mm.
still there, no matter
Yeah.
what. So,
Very true. Very true. Well, and I think there's a difference too between like sort of checking out or shutting down and taking time to cool off. Right? And sort of because sometimes people say, "Oh, they're just shutting down," but they're not shutting down. They're just taking a moment to cool off so that they can respond calmly. So I think it's making sure that you understand the distinction between both and communicating that.
mhm,
Yeah. So basically, emotional intelligence or maturity is the ability to emotionally regulate yourself and others. So it requires empathy, self awareness, self management, and social awareness. It also includes relationship management. So if they can say, I was wrong without choking,
mhm,
that's emotional maturity. If they can apologize without the word, but, like, oh,
yeah,
but you did,
yeah.
you know, then keep them.
Okay, so number 6, is it normal to want peace more than passion in your 40s?
Ooh, absolutely. I mean, passion is cute. It's
Yeah,
cute, right? It's
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
You know, peace is premium.
yeah, yeah,
Can I have passionate peace?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, passion, yeah. Peace is the new six-pack, I guess, that man got. Peace is the new BBL also.
No.
Yeah, and peace is the new damn 6'2".
Okay.
Boom, that's peace. So, last your question, at number 7 question was like, why do people in their 40s move slow when dating? I think because we're tired sometimes. We're
Mhm.
not rushing into another situationship with someone emotionally unavailable.
Yeah. Also,
Excuse me.
we've got kids, careers, appointments, bedtime routines. We're not 22 where we could, go out and just stay out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We need naps. And we're most likely had relationships that didn't work before, and we want to take our time and make sure that we're doing things intentionally and in a healthy way.
Yeah, yeah. So number 8, question 8. Is it wrong to still have deal breakers at this age?
Wrong? No. Necessary? Absolutely. Deal breakers are part of your boundaries and your standards. You have to have some of those, right? Like they're important. The idea is for them to help you build a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about substantial things. So some people have like that no coffee dates as a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's really important to you, okay, I guess, but also make sure you understand why that's a deal breaker.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't understand why coffee dates on the first date is a problem.
I mean, because people expect that their worth is sometime a steak dinner, sometime, 5-star, restaurant.
Uh,
And I mean, yeah, some people wanna give that. I think you should get to know the person no matter what, and sometimes, you can get to know a person when you're eating dinner or when you're at a five-star restaurant, but is everybody worth that? No.
right. Well, see, I guess to me, I saw the coffee date as a great idea because you get to have a little time with that person to see if you really enjoy their company enough to
Mhm.
have dinner. Dinner, you're talking about what, at 1, 2, 3 hours, depending on the
Mhm.
type of dinner. A coffee date could be like 30, 40 minutes. So that'll give you time to decide whether or not you even want to spend more time with this person.
And when someone shows you red flags at this age, you know, you don't ignore them. You
No,
know,
do not.
they're showing their true selves at times.
Right.
So you thank them for the preview and you exit the theater. Pretty much. That's basically the date.
It's a great way to put it. Think of exit there. Hey. So whether you're dating, healing, or happily single, you're allowed to evolve. Your standards can rise, your boundaries can get stronger, your deal breakers can change.
And the right person will meet you where you are,
Mm.
not where you used to be.
Very true. I think sometimes you attract where you are in your emotional growth and development, right? So if you are more emotionally immature, you're probably going to attract other emotionally immature people. And as you grow and mature, you attract people that are also growing and becoming more
Kind of
mature.
like flies attracted to mess. Kind of like that. Okay.
You want to put it that way. Okay, yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in to episode 4. Episode
Mm.
4, all
Wow,
right.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. If this resonated, like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe.
And definitely comment.
And definitely complete. We want to know what you think. So tell us what you thought about the episode. Tell us if you have any comments related to what we had to say. What are your deal breakers? Let us know what your deal
We
breakers
see
are.
we see people view the channel, but we just want to hear comment. Even if you comment and say, "Man, y'all need to shut the hell up," that's cool.
We appreciate it.
We just trying to do everything and try to help somebody out there that needs this. And if they can use it, trust me, we'll keep on going. No
Right.
matter what, I think we're gonna keep on going either way.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
We like it. It's fun, right? All right. So we'll see you next time on
Built
Built
different.
Different.
Later, y'all.